Hi, and welcome to the 8th episode of Get Involved Pittsburgh. My name is Tom Baker. I'm very proud to be your host again on the show. Thank you very much for tuning in, either on your channels at channel 21 in the city of Pittsburgh, channel 47, or through online. And Get Involved Pittsburgh is a little bit of everywhere these days, so we very much thank you for turning in. We have a great set of guests today. We have 6 guests coming up in just a little bit. I want to give you a few quick updates. It's now the fall of 2011, and it was a great summer for Get Involved. We actually became our own nonprofit, 501c3. It's a very fun feeling when you start out. 3.5 years ago, Get Involved started simply as my first book, Get Involved, Making the Most of Your 20s and 30s. And to move to the point where we're now a 501c3, we have our service summit going on, Power Hour, Morning Mix. Our Fast Track Community Leaders program has graduated 21 participants. Things really well with Get Involved. And if you want to learn more about us, just check us out at getinvolvedinc.org. But I want to tell you all about the great guests that we have on here today. We have just a fantastic group. We have Miss Wheelchair USA, Miss Wheelchair America. Josie Badger is going to be with us on the show. Jay Spire is going to be with us. Al Borowski, Bonnie Budzowski. We have Dr. Eric Lauber that's going to be with us in just a moment. And Karen Litzinger. It's going to be a fantastic show. Hopefully episode 8 is going to be great, and we hope that you love it. And we're very proud as well to say a happy birthday to PC1, turning 25 years this fall, which is a great accomplishment. So congratulations to John Patterson and the whole staff and team here with PCTV 21. Things are going well with Big Brothers Big Sisters as well. As some of you know, I'm the VP of programs there. We serve over 1,100 children every year in the region. So if anyone watching at home is interested in being a big brother, being a big sister, or just potentially signing up your children. And we actually have a lot of kids that watch the show as well in the public schools here in Pittsburgh. And it's actually the biggest fan base, I think, are the students in the public schools. So if students, if you're watching, if you want to get involved as well, please just let us know. Our website is bbbspittsburgh.org. So lots of great things going on. Big Brothers Big Sisters was named as one of the top 18 programs for quality in the country, received the Gold Standard Award. So things are just going great. Last, we have Madam President here, the President of the National Speakers Association, Karen Litzinger. Karen, thanks for being on the show.
Hi, Tom. Glad to be here.
Thanks. Well, I've known Karen for a while, actually. We first met when I was a graduate assistant career counselor at the Hines School, now the Hines College. You were the big expert that we would always bring in. I was the little guy in the back of the room that set up the pizzas and the pops so that you could give the big speeches. So it's great to be here with you and be your colleague as well.
It's wonderful to be working together here and with NSA.
Great. Well, I know you have a lot of experience working with people for years. You spent a number of years, I think, in career services. Your last role, I think, being the Career Services Director at Chatham?
Right.
So I want to talk just a little bit about some different elements within career services. The first is resumes. I know that you work, when we were working together at the Hines School, you would come in and do resume critiques. What are some big things that you've noticed over the years of people's resumes? Where are they making the big mistakes?
People might just be describing their job rather than showing the accomplishments and the results of what they've done. So I think that's really probably one of the biggest shifts, because they want somebody who stands out from the crowd and doesn't sound like a want ad in a newspaper.
Sure. And so they've got the resume, they've made sure they show their accomplishments. They don't take it to an event, but they go to an event where they're meeting other people, meeting professionals. You're an expert really on working the room. I've seen you do this presentation a couple times. How can we work the room effectively? If we're at an event, if we're at an event where we can meet other people, what's the best way to kind of work the room and mingle a little bit?
Well, I appreciate the question, because I thought of how that ties into the Get Involved theme. Meeting people,
Yeah.
being out and about. And so any opportunity of involvement is a chance to meet and network. And so if you're in any social occasion, whether it's business or a picnic even, your goal is really to focus on relationships. You're not trying to get things out of people. You're establishing relationships. And some of that people get nervous about, the entry small talk. So when I do the power mingling program, I try to give people some starting lines like, have you been at this program before? Or how was your trip in? Small things. Or you could make comments even about liking the surroundings of the program, or liking
Don't just talk
the
about
food.
the weather. Yeah.
Right. The weather's fine. The weather's fine. It's okay.
But if it's all you got to make sure that you mix it up with some of the other Karen ideas.
Right. And certainly read the newspaper, current events.
I agree 100%. If you go to an event and students, I work especially with students, but if they're asked about current events and they have no idea, professionals aren't, they're turned off a little bit by that. They want to know that people are kind of following what's going on in the world as well.
Except you want to avoid controversial things,
right,
which makes that a little tricky. So I just do want to add that.
Right. So if I'm at a networking event, and should I be walking around with copies of my resume and a drink in one hand and a plate of food in the other, and my resume's here? I mean,
we couldn't do that.
Right, that's three hands.
Yeah,
I guess,
right. No, but it is true. So right, you definitely don't take a resume. You want to have a contact card or a business card with you, and the rule of thumb is you always want to have your right hand free for extending your handshake. And so you want to, and it's not that hard, and I demonstrate that in my programs, you want to juggle your plate and your cup in your left hand. Going back and forth, because otherwise you might have a wet, cold, clammy hand.
You don't want that, don't want to give somebody a clammy hand. Right. A big argument in my house actually is what side should we put our name tag on? I know that's something that you cover as well. What is the correct answer? Which side should your name tag be on?
Easy way to remember it. Right is correct. It's
right
the right
correct.
side.
Right is right. Okay.
That's where the eyes follow and be able to reach.
So I need to move the big brothers, big sisters lapel pin to the other side, go with the name tag here. Okay, all right, that sounds good. I want to talk a little bit about your other venture, which is different from career consulting, and that's healing from pet loss. I know that's something that's meaningful to you, special to you. You've been working on audiobooks with it. Tell us a little bit about kind of how you got involved with pets and healing from pet loss.
I've always loved animals, and I actually attended an animal blessing one year, and just became so enthralled with it. I actually was doing some volunteer memorial services for people and went for certification on bereavement and did an internship at the Association for Pet Loss and Bereavement. And I just did this on the side, really, partly a volunteer venture, if you will. And it was when my dog Pepper died in 2006. I was coming home from the vet with his cremains, and I had the inspiration that I wanted to help others because I knew how to take care of myself.
It hits you hard,
But they're family members, and a lot of times people either don't get it or you as an individual don't feel comfortable sharing because it can feel awkward. And so the CD is what I produced called Heal Your Heart, Coping with the Loss of a Pet. It's 2 years ago now. It won 2 awards, as a matter of fact.
What awards did it win?
It won the Indie Bookseller Award, American Book Dealers Association Award. It was recently reviewed actually by the American Veterinary Medical Association.
Wow, okay, congratulations. Thanks. I did not know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, it hits you hard. The quick story, my dad passed away when I was 12 years old. Things were just rocky in our house. I was going through some stuff. My mom was going through some stuff. We ended up, I got a dog, I think, for my 14th birthday, and it felt like something like a family again with the 3 of us. And so when my dog Shaquille O'Neal Baker, oddly enough, passed away 14 years later, it hit us hard. And you're right. I think that dogs and animals can be like family to you.
Absolutely.
So it's a really, I think, important message that you're sharing and getting some accolades for too. That's amazing.
And I do some training actually. Some of my speaking is with veterinary practices, helping them help the clients, because that was my mission, is to help people as soon as their animal dies.
Right, that's tough. It's tough times. I want to talk a little bit just about the business again. National Speakers Association, we've had some of the real heavyweights in the organization earlier on the show with Al, Bonnie, Eric, Jay, just some great people. You're the current. How are things going right now with the National Speakers Association? Also, for people watching out watching on TV and online, how can people get involved as well?
Certainly. Well, as people have said, the National Speakers Association is really helping paid professional speakers, or people who want to be speakers, to be paid as you are. And I don't think anyone's mentioned yet, but you are president-elect, so you have
it's going to be a good year,
following in all of our footsteps, and I know you're going to be doing great. So we actually have speakers across the country, as you know, who come in, volunteer their time. These are people who make thousands of dollars, and they come to the chapter in service to us and speak on various areas. So it's partly the presentation skills, but also the business of speaking, the expertise, the marketing piece. And we meet monthly, typically. We have a few extra programs the 3rd Saturday of the month.
And how would people find out about NSA Pittsburgh?
Through our website, nsapittsburgh.com, and you can register as a guest and hopefully at some point. Yeah,
we'd love to, just in general, I think we'd love to, people watching at home, we'd love to have you come out to our meetings. It's a lot of fun. It's just a nice community, too, of people that enjoy speaking. We have a scholarship coming up at one of our next meetings in October as well. If there's any high schoolers, any seniors in high school watching, we have a memorial scholarship that's coming up in October for young speakers, young aspiring speakers. So if you're interested in that as well, please keep in touch with me, keep in touch with Karen, and through National Speakers Association. So there's a lot of ways that we try to stay involved as a. So Karen, just in final, I wanted to get a little bit more career advice from you, and then we'll let you go today.
Sure.
What do you see, just in the way that the economy is, the way things are going, what is the best way for a college student, a graduate student, a young professional to really stand out?
Well, for college students, you should have more than one internship, so absolutely that, getting experience. And truly, well, two things I would say. One is being clear on your goals. So many people end up in something, and I see them sometimes when they're, I see everybody from high school students to retirees who are still asking the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? That's the
I think
core.
We're all asking it still.
Right, career counseling more than job search is probably where I'm even busier.
Right.
So knowing what you want so you can go after it as well as market yourself. And that's important because networking is really how people get jobs. And
Absolutely.
so if you don't know what you want, you're not going to be able to network because people can't help you unless you say, hi, who's doing XYZ, because I'd like to get their advice in the search. And that's the other piece I modeled. I'm not asking, do you know of any jobs? I'm asking for advice.
Right.
And so networking is
and
really
people
the
love
key.
to give their advice, right? And people like to feel part of your process too. If you're looking for a job and I help you in some small way, it feels good to be the person that's always also the one helping. So that's great. Well, Karen, thanks for all the great work that you're doing. NSA president, healing from pet loss, all of your career counseling that you're doing. Just a lot of great work here in the community. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Good, thanks.
And what's the best way to...
Sure, there's the two businesses have two websites.
Okay.
karenscareercoaching.com.
Okay.
And the other is healfrompetloss.com.
Great. Okay, well, everyone at home, please make sure to check out Karen. Check out all of our guests today. It was an amazing show. Al Borowski, Bonnie Wadzowski, Jay Spire, Dr. Eric Lauber. We had Karen here, and Miss Wheelchair America, Josie Badgers. An amazing set of 6 guests. I hope that you sincerely enjoyed it. Feel free to check out more about what Get Involved is all about. GetInvolvedInc.org or BakerLeadership.com has the information about what's going on. Just in closing today, I want to share a quick story from the summer. I mentioned earlier that my dad passed away when I was 12 years old to cancer. I've made sure to stay involved with American Cancer Society over the years through Relay for Life, and honored to be one of Gilda's Club's Faces of 2011 as well, raising some money for the organization. Just honored to be part of that as well. But also, when I was young, 6, 7, 8 years old, the first volunteer work that I did was through Special Olympics. I was that kid that was there volunteering with my dad, who was a special education teacher, handing out Gatorade cups to the athletes, just having so much fun with the athletes. It was an amazing experience just to volunteer as a little guy with my dad. And after he passed away, I didn't stay too involved with Special Olympics, but I was really touched. In 2009, they asked me to be the keynote speaker at the Winter Games. So I went there. I brought my mom as my date. We had an amazing time, and it just went great. We were hugging the athletes, talking to the athletes, so inspired by what they were doing. Special Olympics was great with keeping me involved. I became the chairman of the Young Professional Group, helped a lot with the polar plunge last year, which was a big success, $150,000 for Special Olympics. We jumped in the river. Jerome Bettis told us to. That's why we did it. He was our MC for the event, and it was a lot of fun. It's December 11th this year, by the way, if you're interested in getting involved with the polar plunge. But earlier this year, I was asked to serve on the statewide board. Just an amazing opportunity to make a difference and help out a little bit with what's going on with the Special Olympics. I think of my dad and when I'm doing that service work and going to the meetings, thinking about what he believed in, the way that he helped other people, and also just reminiscing from being 6, 7, 8 years old, watching at home or on the internet. Think about the things that you really enjoyed doing when you were young, when you were in elementary school, middle school, high school, and today, how could you do things related to that? How could you give back in a meaningful way related to what you did when you were young, when you were having fun as a young person, and how that can affect your life today? Get Involved is all about giving back. It's all about making a difference. We had 6 great guests today that hopefully inspired and motivated and showed you how you can make a difference, how you can improve your career. We had some just terrific guests today. Again, it's Tom Baker. It's such an honor. Get Involved Pittsburgh. We'll see you sometime soon for episode 9. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in to Get Involved Pittsburgh episode 8. We had a great time.